There's a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return. I'm not where I thought I'd be. See, my plan to make videos and get back into animation again was originally intended to be an after-hours hobby. What I thought was going to be a simple fresh start is now in the neighborhood of back to square one. And here's the gut punch that has me rethinking everything. Up until recently, I had a nice office in a business that I was a partner in. But that ship sunk. It's over. I've had to make a workspace in my bedroom, and now I find myself looking at the corner of destitute and rock bottom, wondering how the hell I got here. Bad economy, bad clients, bad attitude, bad relationships, bad choices, blah blah blah. Sure, all of the above and then some. Whether it was my fault or factors beyond my control, I'm the common denominator in all the events that have put me in a very deep hole. And I'm the only one who can save me. And I've had an epiphany. Although I've technically been working in the art field, there was a point a few years ago where I stopped really making art and started chasing money, a huge contributor to my downfall. Broke? Yeah. The bank account, it's an enormous issue, but it goes deeper than that. Looking back, the most successful time in my life was when I was playing in punk bands. And not your top 40 pop hit-making boy band cosplaying as punk rockers selling marketed rebellion at a store in the mall type of music. I didn't do it because I thought there was any kind of financial future. That was the furthest thing from my mind. It came from somewhere deep. I was making art for the love of making art, and I did it every goddamn day. The results were pretty surprising and completely unintentional. I got signed to record labels when those mattered, and my bands got to tour all over the place when new albums were released. I got to meet all kinds of great people, make awesome friends in far-off lands, and have experiences I never would have had otherwise. I was in magazines, when those mattered, ones that I actually read. My music even got licensed from time to time for TV shows. And probably most surprising is because one of those times, I got a check from the Walt Disney Company. But that's another story. And this all came from hardcore punk of all things. Unbelievable. So did I get wealthy? Yes and no. I wasn't close to what you'd stereotypically think of as wealthy, but I had enough, and I was happy. Now let's break down this example. When I have a purpose and stick to my mission, that makes me wealthy. Let me define what wealth means to me. Obviously it starts with money, but I don't need an opulent, stereotypically rich lifestyle. I just want enough to be worry-free, cover the necessities and any emergencies that come up. It also includes being in good health and having health care if necessary. Having good relationships, not just romantic, but also with family and socially. And the last piece of the wealth puzzle for me is to be able to enjoy some free time and hobbies without worrying about money or that I should be doing something else because I need money. And for me, wealth ultimately equals freedom. And when that's achieved, I have more freedom to stick to my purpose and mission. And then it becomes a cycle that gets better and progresses with each rotation. But when I've let that cycle get broken, doesn't matter the cause. Bad economy, bad clients, bad attitude, bad relationships, bad choices, blah blah blah. When I let the cycle get broken and don't take immediate action to fix it, everything falls apart. And I recognize that this has become a cycle in my life. Success, failure, success, failure. I've been here before, so I know I can fix it. But with each failure becoming worse than the previous one, I aim to fix this for good. So now what? Right now, I need to do whatever it takes, so I'm doing food deliveries. This is something I had to do when I lost all my work as projects got canceled during the latest pandemic. At the time, there was this giant wildfire that happened, and my area had the worst air quality in the world for a while. And I was out in it, dropping off burgers and fries, and it mutated my regular seasonal allergies to include burning, maddening itchy hives with a hacking cough. Some days, you don't even make minimum wage. Some days, you work all day just to put gas in your tank. This is desperate money for desperate times. A lot of times doing these deliveries, it feels almost impossible to get ahead. It takes a lot away from making art. It feels like a system designed to keep you stuck. And wouldn't you know it, almost right away as I started doing deliveries again, I get hit by an uninsured driver. Now I'm no genius and I'm not a very spiritual guy, but if someone's trying to tell me something, I get the message. Food delivery isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. It's not my purpose, so I'll be walking away from it as soon as I can. In addition to continuing the animation, my plans to make art every day to get back on track is going to include getting back into a sketchbook habit to experiment, work out ideas, and sharpen my skills. I've been getting by on fumes from a long-neglected portfolio that is past its expiration date, so I'm also going to need to do a new body of work. The aim is to do work I care about, to reignite the illustration career, to attract clients that want art done with love, in my style, and trust that they're going to get a good product. I'll be saying no to any illustration or design jobs from people who just want a pair of hands to make garbage quickly and cheaply. It's never really served me. And now, well, they've got AI if they want trash. Rethinking everything, I've come to the conclusion that I've been holding on to way too much, both physically and mentally. It's getting in my way, and it's time to let go. I'm going to start here in the attic with physical stuff. I got rid of a bunch of things after a horrible divorce, and this is the stuff that made the cut to stick around. But now it's all been moved out of my way, just piled in the attic. So this time I'm going to do a little Swedish death cleaning. As far as possessions go, I have enough. More than enough, actually. It's going to be out with the old to make room for what I hope is coming in. This is going to be kind of difficult for me, but I'm going to start letting go by selling my decades-old comic book collection. In addition to animation, these things made me want to be an artist. They made me want to tell stories. They were an escape during tough times, friends during lonely times, and an inspiration to face challenges head on. But now they just sit in boxes, moving from house to house. But I hope they can help me one more time. And I hope they end up in good, loving homes. Oh man, it's getting hot up here. And that reminds me, I need to go outside and touch some grass. Something that I enjoy is visiting cemeteries. There's beauty and peace here. I think about all the stories, the history, and the wisdom so many of these people had. And I appreciate that some are still able to share that from beyond the grave. I especially like coming out here when I'm in the dumper. It reminds me of my mortality and how valuable life really is. It reminds me that you can be alive without actually living, and that's no way to be. Today, there's some people I want to see. Here's the resting place of Lyle Alzado. He was a professional football player who played for the Broncos, the Browns, and he was playing for the Raiders when they won Super Bowl 18. Probably what makes me most excited is that he fought an exhibition match against Muhammad Ali. He also pursued acting and was in movies like Ernest Goes to Camp and was on TV shows like MacGyver and Mike Hammer. His art, athletics, and entertainment. And here's our next stop. I'm here because I wanted to drink a Henry Weinhardt's with Henry Weinhardt. His art, obviously, beer. This is probably the person I was most looking forward to visit. Here's the resting place of a true American legend, Virgil Earp, a Union soldier during the Civil War, but probably most famous as the town marshal of Tombstone and a victorious participant during the gunfight at the OK Corral. His art, bringing law to the Wild West. These men were successful because they put their purpose first, and I'm inspired by their stories. And it's got me thinking, how much time do I have left? I'm not getting any younger, and time doesn't take vacations. Making money is good and necessary, but when I let it become more important than sticking with my purpose as an artist, chasing it repelled it, and in turn, destroyed everything. It's left me broke and broken. It's time to climb out of the gutter and get back on task with what's really important to me. It's time to stop being a screw-up. It's time to get out of my own way and stop the self-sabotage. And to do that, it's time to make amends with my past.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Cross. This is your past calling again.
Oh, hi, I'm glad you called.
Oh?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for giving me a swift kick in the caboose. I really needed it.
Well, gee, thanks for listening. Well, I just want to...
Look, man, you taught me a lot, and I really appreciate that, but it's time to let you go. I've got to move on.
Okay,
Well,
Thanks again. Goodbye. In order to achieve the peace, the freedom, and the fulfillment I'm looking for, I need to make art every day. And to do that, I have to go to war. Thanks for watching. I'll be sure to have part 2 in this series out as soon as I can. But in the meantime, for every video that I post here on YouTube, I do another exclusively over on Patreon. I think the link is that way. Thanks again. I appreciate it.